Today, surprising no one, I was up pretty late last night, thinking about today, thinking about yesterday, thinking about the state of this legislature, and what I really want to share and convey today are some thoughts for the parents and grandparents and caregivers and loved ones of trans and gender expansive and LGBTQ kids in Nebraska, whether those kids are under 19 or who are adults. I know that these are kids that we all care about. And I want to speak to the trans youth of Nebraska. I want to speak to all of you and the 7 or 8 of you who are in the middle who voted for cloture on general file but who don't like this bill, and who I'd like to convince to make it go away so we can move on with this session. And I'd like to speak to those of you who have your minds made up to make the choice to legalize this kind of discrimination and hatred and bigotry against not just kids, but that expands to the entire LGBTQ community in Nebraska. So let me talk to the parents and grandparents and loved ones and caregivers of the people that would be affected by LB 574. I want to offer you words of love and support and reassurance. And I understand that learning that your child is trans or gender expansive or anything other than what you expected can be overwhelming and challenging, and it can be really difficult to know where to turn to for guidance and support. But I want you to know that you're not alone. There's a whole community of people out there who see you, who accept you, who hear you, who stand with you, and who are going through the same thing that you're going through with your family. And I absolutely acknowledge that it can be difficult to navigate the journey of having a child who identifies as trans. It's not a journey that you expected or that you planned for, but we're all here because we love our children and we want to support them. Remember that your child is still the same person that they've always been, even if their gender identity is different from what you expected. They still have the same likes and dislikes. They have the same sense of humor. They have the same unique personality that makes them who they are. What's changed is the understanding of who they are and what feels true to them. It's important that you listen to your child and let them guide you in their journey for their life, because your child knows themselves best and they need your love and support to be able to explore and express their true selves. They're not going through a phase or seeking attention. They're simply expressing their authentic selves. And you might have many questions about what this means for your child, your family, and your future, and your community, and that's okay. It's important to educate yourself, to seek out information from reputable sources, from the American Medical Association, from the Pediatric Association, from the Psychological Association. All of these organizations have resources that can help you learn and accept what it means to have a child who's gender expansive. Talk to other parents of trans kids who have been through similar experiences. Your child is simply different, and that's okay. Trans individuals have always existed, and they will continue to exist, and they are just as valuable and deserving of love as everybody else. Also, as a parent, it's natural and normal to want to protect your child from harm. But in this case, protecting your kid means accepting them for who they are and supporting them on their journey. You are not responsible for your child's gender identity. None of this is because of you, but you are responsible for how you respond to it. One of the most important things you can do for your kid is be an advocate for them, no matter what. And that means speaking up when you encounter discrimination or ignorance and educating others about what it means. It also means advocating for policies and laws that protect the rights of transgender people. I know that it can be hard to see your child face discrimination and prejudice from lawmakers in this room. But it's important to remember that your child's not alone, and there are many people out there who are fighting for a more just and equitable world for them to grow up in. Just by standing with your child and loving them and supporting them and wanting the best for them, you are making a difference, and you're helping to create a better future for all trans youth and all LGBTQ people in our society. It's also important to remember that your child needs your love and support now more than ever. Trans kids can face incredibly high rates of bullying from lawmakers, from adults, from people who just don't understand what they're going through. They can face discrimination and even violence, which can have a serious effect on their physical and mental health. But by affirming your child and providing a safe and supportive home, you can make a huge difference in their lives. I know that you might be worried about how society will view your child or how their transition will impact their future. But please remember that your child's well-being and happiness and life always has to come first. Of course, supporting your child as they come out can also bring up a lot of feelings of grief and loss and confusion. And it's normal and okay to mourn the future that you thought your child would have, or to feel uncertain about how your relationship with them will change. But to your child, just support them, just love them, just make sure that they know that you are there for them no matter what. Your child is still the same person you've always loved, just with a better understanding of who they are. And that's what we want for all of our children. However they identify, whoever they are, every single one of us wants to have a relationship with our children where they feel comfortable telling us who they are, where they don't feel like they have to hide things from us. So parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles, teachers, caregivers, and anybody who cares for trans youth in Nebraska or who's watching this anywhere, just the fact that they've revealed this about themselves to you, that they've given you the gift of allowing you to know them as they are, you should feel proud of that. You should feel proud of that. And maybe you have a struggle ahead of you. Maybe you don't know what this means for your family. But I can tell you one thing I know it means, which is that your child feels safe with you and your child trusts you. In a world where so many kids who come out end up on the street, rejected by their families, who are targeted for violence, discrimination. If you have built a home where your child can tell you who they are without fear, you're winning. You're coming out way ahead of the curve. But this is how it should be for all kids. I want to also address some of the fears that you may have about your child's safety. By connecting with other parents of trans kids, you can build a community of support, of people who understand what you're going through and who can offer advice and support. Ultimately, I want you to know that your love and acceptance can make a world of difference in your child's life. By standing with them and affirming their identity, you're sending a powerful message that they are valued and loved for who they are. You just have to keep an open mind, educate yourself, and seek out support when you need it too.
1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. President. To me, this is the most consequential bill of this session, partially because I actually have hope for this bill. I have hope that we can block this. I have hope that we can make lawmakers here see the long-term effects of what a law like this can do to kids, can do to young adults as they grow up, the long-term effects that passing discriminatory laws like this has on our society. We're not moving backward, guys. We're not going to go that direction. Today, as we debate, as we talk about this bill, we have 4 hours. I would like you to imagine the trans kids that are watching this and speak with compassion, speak mindfully.
That's your time, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. President.